What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Try to get on this thing a little bit more regularly. I told you I would. So here we go. We're going to try this again tonight. Hopefully everything will go well. Wait a few minutes and let everybody come in here. Wait a few minutes. Let everybody come in here. See what's happening tonight. Where's everybody at? What's up, exclusive princess? See where everybody is in here. See where everybody is, man. It's a little bit of a slow start. Deidre said, I can't believe I've never been able to catch you live. Well, here we go today. It's going down. It's going down. We are live. We are live and on time. I was not on CP time today. I started that joint right at 7:30. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. We are gonna get it in and talk a little bit today. Probably won't. I'm gonna say this live. I always say at the beginning of every video. I'm not gonna be on too long, but we know how that goes, right? I always say that it ends up being a long time, but you know, I got time today. I got time today. What's up, Red Boy? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Good to see you in the chat. We'll wait a few minutes. I think I made a little bit of a mistake when I posted it on the community page, because for some reason I posted it first and it said Wednesday, and I had to go in and change it. So I'm wondering if a lot of people may have seen the post and thought that it was last night. And if so, that was my fault because I did something really stupid. So hopefully everybody can still see that it's tonight. What's up, name withheld? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat. Gypsy Lily says, OMG, I want to see this, but my boyfriend and I are doing a stream too. That's all right, Gypsy Lily. We'll catch you on the rebound. We will catch you on the rebound. Thanks for stopping in, though. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We're just going to chop it up with the XJW fam for a few minutes. Gypsy says, I will be sure to check it out and drop a like. Likewise, what time does your stream start? Is it starting around the same time? Like 7:30 or 8? Deidre says it ends up being long because everyone's having great conversation with you. Yeah, I enjoy talking. A lot of times I have no idea that it's going to end up being such a great conversation, and it always does. It always ends up being a really good conversation. I really appreciate having everybody come in and actually being, a part of the conversation. Is really cool, man. I really enjoy seeing everybody in here. So, as always, thanks for the support, guys. I appreciate you all so much. Appreciate you all so much. We'll see how this night goes. It looks like it might be a little light tonight. Thursdays might not be what's up for the stream if we want a lot of people to come in and talk to us, but we'll see. Maybe everybody's at the meeting. Maybe everybody is at the meeting getting ready for the Theocratic Ministry School. Maybe they singing, Make the Truth Your Own or something. The elders be in there trying to sing. I remember that one elder, and I hated that dude. That dude got on my nerves so bad. He would always try to throw that fake ass Barry White voice. And you talk to him and he didn't sound like that because his voice was not that deep. Pray to Jehovah, the hope for mankind. Firm for his rule, take your stand, take your stand. I'm like, dude, you do not sound like that. You really need to cut it out. You need to cut it out right now. You really need to cut it out. You do not sound like that. Fake ass Barry White. All right, we got a few more joining in. We will wait a few minutes. Let everybody get in this joint. What you laughing at, Exclusive Princess? I'm in here being crazy, that's all. That's just me in here being crazy, that's all. Aramis says, what up, K? Good to see you, bro. Already got me laughing. That's what's up, man. I'm in here being crazy, man. I'm in here being crazy. It has been, what's up, Christine W? What's up? What's up, WZUP? What's up? What's up? What's up? What y'all know about Martin? Y'all don't know about that. So, guys, this has been a crazy week. It has been a crazy time in general. There has been a lot going on. And if you caught my last stream, you heard the story about how I got caught up. Not caught up is not the right thing to say. How I got disrespected and bamboozled and tricked by I really don't even want to get back into that story, but it's so integral to this conversation that I want to have tonight. I feel like I have to go into it just in case someone is here today that wasn't here last time. But to make a long story short, my ex-wife found my YouTube channel, and after I reconnected with my parents, which she knew I had just reconnected with them, she sent or talked to them about my YouTube channel and how I was talking about the organization, which caused my parents, right after us reconnecting a few days later, caused them to stop reaching out to me. So my mother has stopped speaking to me altogether. Stopped speaking to me. My father is still trying to reach out to me, but he is unable to speak to me if my mother is somewhere around. So he's speaking to me when he's going to get his cancer treatments now. So I can't reach out to him. He'll reach out to me and I may get a few sentences from him. And then that's the end of our contact. We don't talk like we did when we reconnected. We don't have conversation like that anymore because he can't. So when this happened, the last stream I did, I removed it. I didn't want it to stay up because of what I was talking about. But then I started thinking about something. And I started thinking that, sometimes you have to speak your truth no matter what the consequences are. Shiloh says, haven't been in here. Wow, where did all that hair come from? You didn't see the video I did. Just to recap that one really quickly too. I grew my hair, my locks for about 7 years. When I was homeless, they were about this length, and I said I wasn't going to cut my hair until I achieved my goal of having a place, rebuilding my life, and starting over. So when I got here, I cut my locks, but I saved them. And I said I was going to put them back in eventually once I got my footing and I felt comfortable again. I was going to have the lady that I go to put my locks back in. So I just grew my hair out, and it got to a point where my hair was long enough, and she just reattached my old locks to my hair. So this is not fake hair. This is not weave. I didn't do no weave junk like that. This is my hair. These are my locks, and I just had them reattached to my hair. So yeah, that's what's up, Shallow. Name with Hell says, I'm sorry about your mom, but I'm glad your dad has the desire to reach out. That's great. Yeah, that's great. And that is what I'm trying to hold on to, the thought that, yes, that is great, right? I'm trying to hold on to that. But the issue that I have is, when I did that video last week and I took it down, I thought maybe I shouldn't have taken it down, because it's like I'm hiding the truth that I'm speaking. And I wonder, hey, what if you start to think, what if I never would have started this channel and I still reached out to my parents? I probably would still have that connection that I got with them when I first reconnected with them. I would still have that connection. And then I would still feel really good about reconnecting with them. But then, you think, okay, but is that really worth me giving up saying the things or thinking the way that I really think? Is that relationship worth me not speaking the truth that I speak or that I feel? Because this is not something I do just for me. It's something that I feel like a lot of us come together, and it helps us all to deal with a lot of the things that we are going through. And when I started this channel, I always knew that there was a possibility that this would get out and somebody would find out about it and there would be consequences. I always knew. I hoped that it wouldn't happen. I really hoped that it would not happen. But I always knew there was a possibility. And now that it's happened, I have to reevaluate and think, was I really ready to pay the cost for what I did, for what I'm doing? And in my heart, I have to say, yeah, I am willing to pay that cost, because I believe in what I'm doing so much, and I believe in everyone's right to believe how they want to believe. As much as I disagree with the organization, and I disagree with them vehemently, I can't go to my parents and just say, I hate what you believe and y'all are stupid. And I can't do it like that. But at the same time, if I have the ability to at least disagree with what they believe in and still talk about what I believe, then I have to be ready to face those consequences. And I wonder how many of us in life are really willing and able, not just able, but more so willing to stand up and speak their truth no matter what the consequences. How many of us are really able to stand up in front of people that we know if they know how we really feel, they would not be down with us. And still stand on your square and say what you feel. There's not a lot of people who are really willing to do that. And a lot of us, even in this XJW community, a lot of us are. A lot of us are willing to stand up and say whatever we need to say. And that's dope. That's great. But there are a lot of us who are unable to do that. And they need somebody else to be able to do it for them. And so it's those people that a lot of the other people do this for. Because I love my parents and I miss them very much. I told my dad just yesterday, I miss you guys so much. You know, his response was, I'll talk to you later. I mean, that's kind of what it is now. That's what I get. But I was prepared. Unfortunately, I was ready to deal with this happening. And I knew it was going to happen, and I was ready to deal with it. But that doesn't make it any easier. And so now I'm dealing with trying to figure out how to repair this situation and still be able to speak my truth, because it's necessary. I have to speak it. I have to say how I really feel. I have to help the people that I'm trying to help, including myself. This is not just for everybody else. This helps me too. But in me doing this thing to help me and other people, I've lost something. And I think that happens to anybody who is trying to do something great for a large number of people. You lose something. Hips to the Dip says, hello, Fitz. What's up? What's up, Hips to the Dip? Ocean Girl says, I open up with ones I know can handle it, but to have a relationship with my mom, with my dad and brothers and sisters, we don't talk religion at all. Agreed. I'm going to have to do the same thing. Tracy says, I am sorry that any organization would encourage a family to stay away from its loved ones. I was raised in a religion that caused a split when our pastor left that organization. Daniel Brown says, I feel like I've become much moe. Name with Hell says, it does. Your channel touches a lot of people's lives. Thank you. Thank you. Daniel Brown says, I feel like I'm much more tolerant to others after leaving. How about you? Daniel, I would agree with that. Now, even in the face of being much more tolerant, I still talk about it. And what I find is that it's difficult to talk about it to a lot of people. There are some people you can have the conversation with and it's cool. But the thing with me is that even though I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, after I left, I still investigated the Bible, the origin, what it means, what they're talking about, where it came from. So I know it. And I don't just know the Jehovah's Witness Bible. I know the King James Bible too. So I've had some debates with people, or some conversations that ended up being almost debates. But I've had conversations with people that were supposedly super Christian, and then when I challenge them on a particular view that they don't know is actually in the Bible, then it becomes like butting heads. And I'm thinking, I don't want to butt heads with you. I'm just asking you, what about this? And I find that a lot of times that even though I am tolerant of someone's belief system, I still will question it. And if you are comfortable with your belief system, there shouldn't be a problem with someone questioning it. You should be able to defend or explain your belief system without any problem. And there have been people that I've talked to that are able to explain their belief system, whether I agree with it or not. They're able to explain it. There are some people where you bring up a particular point and they come off like, I didn't even know that was in there. And that's when I have an issue. Don't profess to be a member of something and you don't even know exactly what the membership entails. Don't tell me you're a super Christian and then I point out something and you didn't even know it was in there. I'm thinking you're not really a super Christian because you don't even know what you're following. So yes, I do agree with you, Daniel. I am much more tolerant of other people's belief system, but I will question it. I will question it. Miss Desire Independent says people that are not JWs don't understand the shunning. Not unless they're Scientologists. Not unless they're Scientologists or Amish. Reagan White says that's right. Tracy says it's sad. I appreciate your loss. And that's the thing. I don't understand. And this is more just me talking to you guys because I don't understand everything that I didn't really write any script. And I never really do. I just kind of just talk and have a conversation. But I just realized that in what I've been doing, I've created a situation where me doing what I do has possibly cost me my family. Now, I don't know what's going to happen next week, next month, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of things in my life right now that I'm in a place where I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. But this issue with my parents is really unsettling, especially after coming off a situation where I was so happy that I had reconnected with them. Kawhi says, I hate that family dynamics are unnecessarily complicated. I agree. And I don't understand I had a really good session today with my therapist. And he read a poem to me. And in that poem, he was injecting the issues that I'm having in life right now. And one of those issues was with my parents. And he was saying that, in a way, all I can do is take what I can take from the situation. And I have to learn to be more patient. Daniel Brown said, so what happened when they found your page? Sorry, a little late. I'll get back into it. I'll run it back a little bit because I know there were some people that didn't get to see it because I took it down. But Daniel, when my parents found out about my page, they stopped communicating with me the same way. I would call the house and I would get no answer. My father asked me when I was going to the Kingdom Hall, was I ever baptized? And I said no. And he was asking that because if I was, then he would have to shun me, So that's that. Now, in the present, we have been trying to get together and have lunch for 2 weeks now. We planned last week, that didn't work. We planned this week, that didn't work. So I get snippets of information from him. But it all has to do with me speaking my truth. And as much as I love my parents, I love them immensely. I love them very much. I am at a point now where I have to decide, and I have to really think about whether my truth or me speaking my truth is worth my relationship with my parents. That's where I am right now. Am I willing to not speak my truth if it means having a relationship with my parents. And for me, that is, Shiloh says, wait, so you've never been baptized? No, I was never baptized. But see, when I grew up in an organization, if you was in that mug for a long time, they treated you just like you were baptized. See, nowadays there's this huge, I think there's a distinction. They have a distinction between the way they treat unbaptized people and the way they treat baptized people. Back when I was growing up in it, since I was a baby when I was introduced into it, by the time I was a teenager, I had been in the organization 13 years. I was a veteran already. I was a veteran Jehovah's Witness. Andrew D says, hang tough, bro. Coming out of a cult can cause mental issues. You have to be strong mentally. Yeah, I realize that, Andrew. Appreciate that comment, brother. That's one of the reasons why I'm seeing a therapist now. Because it does create a lot of conundrums in your head. And there's a lot of issues that you deal with that people don't understand because they're not in that situation. So now I have to decide, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to continue to speak my truth? Or do I want to take my YouTube page down, tell my parents, all right, don't worry about that. I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. Now let's have this amazing relationship. Reagan White says, you should be able to speak your truth. Denying it to me is as if you never existed, and that's not true at all. It's a very, very true statement, Reagan White. You should be able to speak your truth. But in the world we live in, this conversation applies not just to ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. This conversation applies to all situations. Because nowadays, it's very difficult for anyone to be able to speak their mind or their truth without any consequences. You could speak your truth on Twitter and lose your job. You could speak your truth to somebody that you think is okay with your truth and then end up being somebody's, being a victim of somebody. So we are in this strange quagmire where it's difficult for people to speak their truths anymore. It's very difficult. Aramis Ponder says, truth hurts. Daniel Brown says, I avoid all JW talk with my folks. It was never my intention to have any JW talk with my folks. When I reconnected with them, I made it a point not to discuss JW issues with them. My ex-wife interjected in that and caused an issue, caused a rift. And she did it purposefully. So now I'm in the situation where I'm thinking, okay, how do I resolve this issue? How do I fix this? Deidre says, how arrogant of our JW families, though they expect to be treated with respect for their beliefs, but don't have to give respect back to us for our beliefs. So true. Name with Hell says, I liken it to PTSD. I still experience anxiety over being in so long, from being around other religious people to sometimes even thinking I had to hurry and get ready for a meeting. That's a very good point, Name with Hell, because for a long time after I left the organization, I would never wear a suit. I would never wear slacks, a dress shirt, or a blazer. I never wanted to wear one. I didn't even own dress shoes for several years after I left the organization because even looking at dress clothes reminded me of going to the meeting. Just in the last few years have I been like, okay, now I want to start looking spiffy again. Let me get some blazers and some suits real quick. But that was for a long time. I was not messing with dress clothes because it reminded me of the Kingdom Hall. I was not messing with book bags. Book bags reminded me of the Kingdom Hall. Everything. There were so many things that reminded me of the Kingdom Hall that I just like, I'm not messing with that stuff. Miss Desire Independent says they feel their beliefs are superior. They do. Well, of course they do. They feel like they're the only ones who are going to survive at the end. Andrew D says, I hope you keep making your videos. We have to face our fears. I have the same problem as you, and I don't know the answer. I am still trying to figure out what moral to do. Chia Fade now says, I got rid of all my ties and suits too. Daniel Brown says, I stopped wearing suits too. You see what I'm saying? These conversations bring up real shit that people don't think about. People don't think about these little things, but this is shit that happens for real. Think about being in an organization that traumatizes you so much you don't even want to wear a suit or a sport coat anymore. That's some crazy shit, man. But that's what we go through. And it affected so many different aspects of my life. Being in this organization affected so many aspects of my life. Like even in my intimate relationship, it made it where if I was with my girlfriend's family during the holidays, it made me sad because I knew I didn't have a family to be around during the holidays. You know what I mean? So there's so many instances where this thing goes into your life and causes so many different issues. Christmas time didn't mean anything to me as far as Christmas itself. It meant to me that it made me more aware of the fact that I didn't have a family, and that's a problem. It was a problem for a long time. Miss Bailey says, I really don't like dressing up too. Reminds me of Kingdom Hall too. See? Red Boy says, I donated my JW suits and bought some skinny suits for business. Daniel Brown says, it's still hard for me to reach out to people on their B-days. Dude, it took a very long time for me to even think about B-days. And it was my girlfriend was the one that gave me my first birthday in forever. I think I was like 35 years old. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have even had a birthday party. You know what I mean? And it was difficult for me to even celebrate birthdays because to this day, they don't mean anything to me. They only represent something reprehensible. And I have to force myself to be part of holidays because in my heart, holidays remind me of something that I had to shun my whole life. It reminds me of something that my whole life I was told, this is horrible. And I know it's up to that person whether they want to do it or not, but it's still a reminder of something that I don't have, which is my relationship with my family. So people who aren't in don't really understand that whole dynamic of how holidays affect you, right? GFA says Primerica was JW Central around my way. But yeah, that whole suit thing, that was rough. It took me a long time to get past that. How many of you guys had one of them big ass book bags that you could put your whole shelf of books in, walking around looking like a damn nerd? Deidre says, after my mom said that, I immediately thought she was thinking that the governing body calls mentally diseased. Andrew D says, I don't want to lose family and friends, but I think of Ray France, former governing body member. Suppose he didn't tell his story and gave in to fear. Very valid point, Andrew. I mean, really, if you think about it, Ray France was like one of the people that blew the lid off of this thing. He blew the lid off. And I'm sure of course, we all know there were consequences to his actions too. There were consequences to his actions too. But some of us have to take one for the team. So like Andrew said, I'm in the situation where I'm thinking I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the solution is. Do I want to stop speaking my truth? No. Do I want a relationship with my family? Yes. You know, does it bother me that my father has cancer and I can't do anything about it because I can barely talk to him? Yeah. Raspberry Roland says, hey Fitz, good to see you doing another video. You are opening up the eyes of a lot of people. Enough love. Thank you. Thank you, Raspberry. Miss Bailey says, I have large totes and purses. Barely use them like I used to. So I'm, like what Andrew said, I'm trying to figure out what the solution is. What do you do? What do I do? You know, I want to reach out to him. I want to reach out to my mom. I asked him last week, I said, hey, can I come and bring you guys lunch? He said, I don't think that would be a good idea. Let's just keep this between us for now. I said, okay. I said, okay. And sometimes I wonder, you know, am I endangering my relationship with him by even doing these videos? But I don't do these videos just for them. This is my therapy too. This is me being able to speak to people that I know understand what I'm going through. And there are so few people like that in the world. There are so few people that really understand what it's like to have been in this organization for a quarter of a century. For me, 25, 26 years. But this is for me and for the people that I help. But it's a double-edged sword because I really feel in my heart that this stuff I'm saying is going to end up getting back to them, and it's going to harm me. It's going to cut me. It's going to cut me. Ocean Girl says, I have to stop myself from going overboard with my kids' B-days. I always thought they were special days, even being a devoted JW, but of course couldn't celebrate them. Of course. Andrew D says, only you can make that choice. Because we have to, only you can that choice because we, Andrew, you're going to have to retype that one, brother. You're going to have to retype that one, brother. So, suggestions. What do people think? If you were in this situation, let's talk about this. You're in this situation where you have the ability to say some things that will help a lot of people. But in doing that, you're going to lose your family. But doing that is something that helps you, and you need it. And you want this relationship with your family, but you also want this thing that helps you. What do you think? What do you do? Deidre says, if we don't speak our truth, people can't know who we really are. It's the same with relationships we have. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little under the weather. Sorry about that. And that's true. That's really true. Reagan White says, you can't be the only one making compromises in any relationship. That's so sad that you're worried about your show. That's so sad that you're worried about your show that you care about so much could cost you so much. Yeah. I mean, this is a lot of time and energy and work. And I I appreciate everybody that comes in here and inputs and says stuff and calls in and donates. I appreciate all of this because this is not just for me. It helps me and it helps everyone else. Kawhi says, because of my inherently selfish nature, I wouldn't sacrifice anything for people that don't value a relationship with me. I agree with that, but here's a conundrum. As I was talking today with my therapist, my issue now is, see guys, I come on here and I'm really cool and relaxed and all that stuff. But see, I used to be a super asshole, man. I used to be an asshole. People that knew me used to call me like, Keith, you are such an asshole. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But being an asshole was the thing that kept me, in my mind, that kept me from getting ran over. You know what I mean? So now I'm at a point where I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I don't want to do something like that for someone that doesn't value their relationship with me, but I also don't want to be that person that's thinking, okay, I'm just going to come this far in this relationship with my parents and then become an asshole and say, fuck all of it. I'm not finna give up everything for that. I don't want to be that dude. I'm trying to find the mid ground between not enough and extreme. Like, I'm trying to find the mid ground between fuck them and and I ain't doing my show. I'm trying to find the midpoint between those things. Yeah. GFA says, in my current mental state, there's no way that I would live life with a gag in my mouth. Agreed. Andrew D says, only you can make that choice because there are consequences which we have to live with. I cannot even see all the kickback. Reagan Wright says the whole. Deidre Stinson, but it's your parents. See, Deidre, that is what I'm saying. All of that shit that we're saying in the chat room is so great. But it's your parents, though. And see, you're talking to somebody that for 10 years was like, I don't care if I ever see my parents again. In my heart, I've said this before, in my heart, I knew that I was never going to see my parents again. And if I did, they would probably be dead. And I was thinking I'm okay with that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to do the things that will protect my spirit, but will still allow for room to have a relationship with them. And that is the hard part. That's the balance that I'm trying to find. Where is that wiggle room so that I can still be myself, which is non-negotiable. That can't not happen. I have to be who I am. But I also want to have this relationship with my parents, but I don't want to sacrifice one for the other. Where is the happy medium? That's the question. How do we find in this situation? How do we, as XJWs, people who no longer believe the same way our families believe, but still love our families, even though we don't believe the same way, and are open to having a relationship with people who may not be open to having a relationship with us? Those are the things that we have to think about and deal with, and it's not easy. And if you've not been a part of it, you may not understand it. Ocean Girl says, it's a hard one. It's a very personal decision, but at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. Realize that. Totally realize that. But we're not even talking about everyone. We're talking about a very, very small number of people. Probably two people. I'm talking about parents. And even then, outside of parents, a small family. Kawhi says, I don't think there is a happy medium. Their faith doesn't allow them to compromise. See, that's a very, very valid point, Kawhi. Their faith doesn't allow them to compromise. Totally great points. Deidre says, right, if it was anybody other than your parents, you could probably say fuck it. But being that it's your parents, it's way different. It is. And see, since I've come from both sides, because a month ago I was like, fuck it. And then a few weeks later, I was like, oh, let's try to make it work. Let's work it out. So, you never know. We could all feel one way today and a month later feel completely differently about the same situation. Aramis says, that's real. It's your parents. It's crazy, though, because they're your parents. They should be trying to find the happy medium more than you. Chia says, black and white thinking doesn't leave wiggle room. Sometimes loving them from a distance is the only choice they leave you. You have to love yourself. Chia Faye, that is a very, very good point. Very, very good point. We're going to talk about that one too. Reagan White says, the best way to honor your parents is to take care of yourself. You'll find a middle ground in time. Your mental fortitude will grow. It's going to take time and patience. Yeah, I've heard that before from Reagan. Chia Faye, beating your head against the wall, trying to make it work, isn't loving yourself. Chia Faye says, black and white thinking doesn't leave wiggle room. Sometimes loving them from a distance is the only choice they leave you. You have to love yourself. We're going to talk about that one too. Let's get back to Aramis' statement though. That's real. It's your parents. It's crazy though, because they're your parents. They should be trying to find the happy medium more than you. It's a great point, but then you have to think about too, where does it come in? Where does being the bigger person come in? We know this are our parents, but see, here's the thing. Just because they're your parents doesn't mean that they're not people with problems. Just because you came out of his balls or her vagina, well, his balls and her vagina, and they're your parents, doesn't make them any less human. They're still regular ass people with regular ass people problems. And sometimes we hold our parents to this standard. Well, you shouldn't act like that because you're my parents. No, them motherfuckers are just regular people. You just happen to come from their balls and vagina, but they're still regular ass people that are able to do really good shit and really dumb shit and really bad shit and really mean shit. They're just people. So that doesn't mean just because they are your parents that we necessarily have to treat them differently from regular people just because they're our parents? Are they automatically held to a different standard than other human beings? I mean, technically you think you should, but the fact that they're your parents doesn't stop them from making mistakes. So we can't always expect our parents to do everything. The same way we can't expect someone that we just have a friendship or relationship with in any other way. We don't expect them to do everything. We have to do some things too. Daniel Brown says, to be honest, I don't do what you do out of respect for my parents. Clarify that, Daniel. What do you mean? How would doing what I do be disrespectful to your parents? I appreciate the statement. I just want to let's unpack it a little bit. Let's just unpack that statement a little bit. I appreciate you being honest, Daniel Brown. That's a very honest statement. I appreciate that, bro. Now, open that up a little bit. Tell me exactly what you mean by that. Reagan White says we are all human. Of course we are. We are. We can't expect our parents to do everything. We can't expect our parents to always be the ones that reach out. We can't expect them to be the ones that always solve the problems, because that's not how relationships work. Sometimes, and relationships are weird. We're talking about a relationship with our family too, our family. We can't expect our family members to always be the ones to reach out. We have to reach out too. It's a two-way street, and it's hard to have a relationship or repair a relationship with somebody who who isn't trying to repair the relationship too. And that's where the hard part comes in. That's where the very difficult part comes in, because you want to repair the relationship. You want to, and they don't want to, or they act like they don't want to. So you have you on one side who is just begging to have this relationship and begging to repair it. And you realize, okay, we get it. I made a mistake. You made a mistake. We get it. Let's fix it though. And it's difficult and it hurts because you want that. You want to fix it. But you can't repair a relationship by yourself. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. Aramis says, they made you. The organization is ridiculous. Yeah, they're regular, but a family is supposed to treat each other with respect. This is a pure example of evil within the organization. That's true. A family is supposed to treat each other with respect. But how many families, even that aren't part of the organization, are fucked up and don't treat each other with respect? That's what I'm talking about. This is not just a JW problem. Fucked upness happens in all families. A lot of families don't treat each other with respect. That's just real life. So that's what I'm saying. Just because they're your family doesn't mean that they're the ones who have to fix everything, because that shit don't work. Sometimes you have to be the person that says, okay, I'm going to fix this. Because had I not done that, I never would have reached out to I never would have had a moment with my parents. They're the parents, I'm the son. But I was the one that repaired it. You see what I'm saying? So, Gypsy Lily says, hey there, just wanted to know if you keep this vid up so I can check it out later. Yeah, I'll keep this one up. Aramis says, that's true, Kay. This is all due to you not being part of the organization. That's true, Kay, but this is all due to you not being part of the organization. Explain that a little bit more, Aramis. What do you mean by that? Ocean Girl says, our families that are in are simply victims to the organization. That's what gives me compassion for them and lets me drop any expectations. Kawhi says, I'm not part of the organization and my entire family is so dysfunctional that none of us are speaking to each other. Ooh, y'all are coming in. Y'all are going in. Deidre says, well, we all know what RJW families should be doing regarding us, but the normal standards don't apply here because the cult they are in that controls them is not normal. Raspberry Roland says, I would choose my family because at the end of the day, when the Kingdom Hall turned their backs on them, all you have is family. And that is what I will never understand. That's what I will never understand. What your parents did are wrong. Deidre says, so what we're trying to figure out is how can we be the better people and be happy within this crazy situation. Exactly, Deidre. Exactly, Deidre. That's what this conversation is about. How can we speak our truth, believe what we want to believe, have a relationship with our families, respect what they believe, and still have the relationship? And I see what the other person said earlier. It's not just us, it's them. Because we're open to it and they aren't. We're open to it and they are not. And it affects so many things because you're always yearning for that relationship, and then it gets pulled away. And then you're like, what can I do to fix this? How can I fix this? What can I do? What can I do? And it literally makes you go crazy. It literally makes you go crazy because it's like you have this in your hand. Like with me, I had it, and now it's gone. And I'm thinking, what can I do to fix it? I don't want them to be gone. I'm like, what? How can I fix it? Please don't leave. What can I do? What can I do? And it's not just in this situation. It transfers to so many different situations in life where you have that huge fear of loss. Because you've already lost so much in your life. So you don't want to lose anything. And you're always willing to, how can we fix it? Please, let's just fix this. Let's fix this. But you're used to having situations where people don't want to fix things. And it's so hurtful. It's so hurtful. Aramis says, I know that sometimes our families don't treat each other with respect, but that may be due to someone doing some real fucked up shit sometimes, but you have simply chosen a different path. And now you have no family due to religion. That's evil. Daniel Brown says, well, I feel my relationship right now is at a good place and they don't force anything on me or my children. So if I go online and tell my story, that may ruin our relationship. Well, see, Daniel, you have a unique situation. There aren't very many of us who have a situation where our parents are in, but are not trying to force shit on us. Now, my parents weren't talking about it when I reconnected with them, but now they are, in a way, trying to force their belief system on me because they're not speaking to me because of it. Miss Desire Independence says that will not work. They will want you to choose a side, JW or the world. Very true. There's not a lot of situations where we have it where our parents are like, "Oh, it's fine if you're not Jehovah's Witness. I'm not gonna try to force this on you. Let's just hang out and have fun and not think about it." There aren't very many situations like that. I wish there were. I would be down with that. I would be down with that. Here's the thing. We are hurting now and trying to cope with how we're treated by our families right now. But the day will come when they will need us. You know, I used to think that too, Deidre, but sometimes I don't even think that's true anymore. I think that they have such family within the organization that they may not even think about it. I mean, my father had prostate cancer for so many years, and I didn't even know. He had such a familial structure in the organization that he didn't even need me, and I'm the only son he has, and he didn't even need me. So while that they'll need us one day shit sounds good, in reality, those people in that organization are like their family for real. They may not even need us for real. Deidre says the Watchtower is going down. We know the truth right now, and they don't. They may come back to us in shame, but they will know that we were right all along. That sounds good too, and I hope it's right, but I don't think it is. I hope it's right, but I don't think it is. If the Watchtower goes down, all it's going to do is reinforce their belief system. The only way the Watchtower going down would help us is if they have some R. Kelly like videos of the governing body peeing on kids, or some of the elders in the congregation, they got video of them peeing on kids. And even then, they'll start saying shit like, well, Jehovah's going to start cleaning his organization out before he starts cleaning the world out. How many of us have heard that bullshit? Jehovah's going to start cleaning out his organization first. Oh, if they bring the Watchtower down, that just means that Satan is in the world and he's trying to take down the Watchtower and the organization. That means it's our time. The end's about to come. Man, we are in like this catch-22 with these people. How do we do it? Kawhi says, I'm so disappointed that someone caused a rift where healing was taking place. I am too, Kawhi. Deidre says, you may be right, Keith. Deidre, I hope I'm not. I really do. I really hope that I am not. I hope that I am incorrect as hell. Exclusive Princess says they probably do. There are many cases that have been swept under the rug. Yeah, there have been. I'm disappointed that the rift is there too. I really am. Because you guys saw me. I was so happy that day. Even though that was the biggest roller coaster ride of my life, man. I went from being super sad to super excited to super sad again, all in the same, 3 hours. Miss Desire Independent says the mind control is strong. The only way they will wake up is if they are in a situation where their faith is compromised or someone in the organization turns on them. But see, the thing that the issue with that, Miss Desire, is that they have been so trained that when their faith is compromised, it only makes their faith stronger. How do you it's like a tire that's self-inflating. You can poke a hole in it, but there's stuff in there to fill the hole up so you can still keep going. That's how the Jehovah's Witnesses are. You can poke a hole in their faith, but they have so much indoctrination underneath that if you poke a hole in their faith, the indoctrination will go shh and fill in the hole, and it will allow them to keep going. That's what we're dealing with. Now, how do we fix that? How do we fix that? Because that's what they do. It is so difficult to compromise a Jehovah's Witness's faith. It's extremely difficult. And I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm just trying to be real. How can we fix this? How can we solve this? What can we do to help? Because I know I'm not the only person in this situation. I know it's not just me. It can't be just me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So it's not just me. Who else? There are others out there who are in this situation. And we need to figure out what we can do, how we can believe the way we want to believe and still love the people that we love who may believe differently, because I'm down for that. I am down for somebody that I love to be like, I believe this way. And I'm thinking, well, I don't believe that way. I believe this way. We can still talk about it. Doesn't mean I have to change to your view. It doesn't mean you have to change to mine. Miss Desire says those born in it are more indoctrinated. Yeah, I know. I was born into it. But I still left. But my father wasn't born into it. My father didn't become a Jehovah's Witness probably 10 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago. And now he's so in, he didn't speak to me for now. He's trying to make contact with me, but it's difficult for him. Bernetta Crutcher says, okay, I'm not a JW and only know about it from what I've learned from you in these videos. From the outside looking in, I find it very understandable for them to take a step back. Elaborate on that, please, Bernetta Crutcher. Elaborate on that statement. What do you mean? If I were in your parents' shoes, I would have a hard time hearing you call me stupid or ignorant for my beliefs and believe that you truly want to mend the relationship. That's very far from agreeing to disagree. Now, if you look back at my videos, Bernetta, I'm very calm. I've never said anything derogatory to any individual Jehovah's Witness. I've never said anything where I've disparaged a Jehovah's Witness. You can look at all my videos, and I think most people here would agree. I don't disparage anyone. Don't disparage anyone at all. And I've never called anyone stupid or ignorant for their belief system. I would never do that. My issue on my channel is not about the individual Jehovah's Witness. My channel is about the teachings of the organization, the Watchtower, and the governing body, and how they have changed their stories over the years, and how they are not able to hold themselves accountable for the things that have been proven to be untrue, and how they filter that information down to the people who believe it. My issue is not with an individual Jehovah's Witness. Not individual Jehovah's Witnesses at all. Because, as I've stated, they may be being controlled mentally. So no, there is no video where I disparage an individual Jehovah's Witness. Never happened, never will. So the point of me saying that is, even if I just disagree with something and I do it in a way that is still respectful, I still lose. So while your point is very well made, it's incorrect, because the way I deliver my content is very respectful. I literally only point out facts. I don't speak what I think. If you look through all my videos, anytime I speak about something, I have a Watchtower or a magazine that backs up what I say. I merely state facts. Merely state facts. Okay? So yes, I appreciate that statement, Bernardo. It was very well delivered, but it's incorrect. So now that you've said that, I think you've made a very valid point. Now, if you can deliver the way you feel to someone in a very respectful way, and it still be a problem to cause enough of a problem to cause them to back away from you, what does that say about what they're listening to and how they believe and what their belief system is? Bayou Boy 66 says exactly what the fuck you saying is for real. Exactly. Reagan White says that's right. Bayou says, I'm just dropping in, bro. I'm getting from what I'm hearing someone turn your parents away from you. Dude, I'm crushed for you. That's exactly what happened, dude. I appreciate that comment. Thank you, bro. The Drinking Guard says, I think the older generation looks down on anyone who criticizes them, even when the criticism is deserved. Drinking Guard, that is a very good point, bro. Very valid point. And it's true. It's true. The older Jehovah's Witnesses are so indoctrinated. You're not gonna. There's nothing you can say to them. There's absolutely nothing you can say to them. They are die hard for that organization. There's nothing you can say. Absolutely nothing. How long have we been streaming? Over an hour. See, I told you guys I was trying not to be on here that long. Y'all always have me out here. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. The conversation is just so good, man. You know, I'm thinking about organizing a meetup. I really think that would be a really good thing to do, to have a big meetup somewhere, maybe here in Nashville, because Nashville is such a fun place. Everybody wants to come here. We should have like a big meetup, man, and just have some speakers, people to talk about what they've been through, and just find a way to really help each other. You know what I mean? Judain, what's up, man? Peace, folks. Unfortunately, sometimes people get their feet stuck in concrete. What can you do aside from living your truth? I don't know. Daniel Brown says, yeah, anyone 50 plus is better off just staying at the hall. Deidre says, yeah, meetup would be great, but you really aren't getting out of that in 1 hour, Keith. Yeah, I know. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Yeah, I respect that. Daniel saying that he doesn't do that out of respect for his parents. I respect that. But see, the thing with me is my parents weren't YouTubers. They weren't gonna find out. Somebody helped them find out. But had that not happened, they would not have found out. Red Boy says 50 plus is when many wake up. That's true too. That's true too. So we're in this situation where we can finally say how we really feel, right? We can finally say how we really feel. Judaim says, I'm not an XJW, but I think it would be dope to meet up. It would be dope for everybody to get together and meet up. That would be such an inspiring day. We could, I'm going to look into that. We're going to make that happen, guys. We're going to make that happen. And it's not going to be no fire festival shit either. Ja Rule ain't got nothing to do with this. This is not going to be no fire festival bullshit. But man, the thing is, now the way the situation is with me not being able to reach out to him or my mom, it's almost like I feel that, man, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. The drinking gourd says, sadly, it seems like Watchtower is only getting more extreme. So the true test is, can we live happily regardless of the crazy shit, the witnesses say and do? Ocean Girl says, I've heard other apostates say that too, Daniel, because they have invested so much of their life already, but I still rather know the truth at any age. I agree. Judaim says, so that means we get more than recovery tents and sad cheese sandwiches. Oh, man. Oh, man. I don't know, man. We got to figure it out, man. I'm just hey, guys, do me a favor and give us a like so we can get some more people in this room, so we can see who's in here. Give us a like real quick. If you haven't already liked the video, please click the like button so YouTube will send us out to some more people. Huh. I just got a very interesting message. Very interesting message. Very interesting message. I just got a very interesting message. I hope you don't mind me saying this, RNA. But my aunt, you guys remember my aunt. Y'all met her on the other live stream. She just said something very interesting. She's watching the stream. And what do you guys think about this? I find her statement to be let me tell you guys something about my aunt. Me and my aunt used to sit up until 4 and 5 in the morning just talking about everything. My aunt is one of the wisest people I know. And we've had some amazing conversations about some amazing things. She's a very, very, very wise woman. And this message is so like mind blowing, because I never would have said this and I never would have thought this because I'm too far in the situation. But she says something to the effect of, I realize that you may have to find a way to teach your parents about you all over again. Now think about that. Think about that. That's a dope statement. Think about that. let's unpack that statement for a minute, guys, because it's dope. Our parents only know us. Like, my father and mother don't know me now. They know the memories of who I am to them. They don't know me now. That is such a fucking amazing point. They don't know us now, dude. Damn, Renee, that's a good point, bro. Man, we're gonna have to do a damn live stream together, Renee, for real. Aramis Ponder says that's deep. That's so deep, bro. That is so deep. I would not have thought of that like that. That is deep. They do not know who we are. We are basically strangers to them to an extent. That is such a good point. They don't know us at all. And you have to think about that dynamic. We know them. We know them because we know what they know. We know what they've learned. We know how they think. They don't know us at all. We are complete strangers to them. So how do we get to a point where we can have a conversation with them long enough so they can get to know that we can even be people that they can talk to? That's right. That is like the whole topic of the next video. I'm gonna see if RNA will jump on this one with me. RNA, you gonna jump on this one with me. And you know what I think would be dope? To have my aunt on the show, because she loves my father just like I love him. And she has to deal with the situation just like I do. And we're both trying to figure out how that we can all have this happy family. It's not just me, it's her too. We're all trying to figure this thing out. So yeah, you just gave us a whole nother show. That's probably going to be the next XJW Sunday topic. This coming Sunday. Aramis says we can dive deep on that one. That one makes me think of my dad and what I could do to strengthen our relationship. Man, yeah, a whole bunch of people said shit when I read that message, and I was just like, man. Man. Dame says, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is The Drinking Gourd says, love how witnesses expect to be treated with such respect. Meanwhile, they will say the most ignorant shit about other religions. Such hypocrisy. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little under the weather. I'm trying not to sneeze in front of everybody. Man, that was a great message. That is a great point, dude. All right, so let's get ready to wrap this thing up. It's been over an hour. That will definitely be the topic of our next conversation on our next XJW Sunday. This Sunday, we'll talk about that. But the point of this show and what I'm trying to ask and trying to say is, how do we get into a state, or can we, or how have I gotten to a state where I am able to speak my truth regardless of the consequences? And it hasn't been easy. You know, I have to bear the brunt of the reason the relationship is the way it is. As much as I am upset about how it happened, had I not done it, it wouldn't have happened. Right? So I have to bear the brunt of the responsibility for the way that things have deteriorated. Even though I did something to repair it, I have to bear the brunt of the responsibility for the way it ended up. Because had I not done these videos, it would not have ended up that way. But at the same time, it's still me speaking my truth. It's still me speaking my truth. And in order for me to be a happy, whole person, I have to be able to speak my truth. And I think at the end of the day, in a perfect world, we should be able to be around people who will allow us to speak our truths without negative consequence from that if they truly love us. So now we have to get to a point where we can have these conversations with enough of these conversations with these people, or enough of a conversation with these people that we love, to just get to a point where we're at level ground and we can at least be amicable in our disagreements. And that's what I'm trying to figure out the way to do right now. I want to just, at the very least, have an amicable relationship regardless of our personal belief system. John Seth says, they don't know us because they are told that we left because we are bad people. They don't understand that some leave because they can't accept to be lied to. We still have a conscience and good morals. Aramis says, will I have to download? Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Name withheld. Happy late birthday. Happy late birthday. Love your stream. Oh my God, name withheld. The $40 donation. Oh man, name withheld. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. $40, man, that's so great. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to do this too, just so y'all know. I don't know if you guys know how YouTube works, but if you, that's true love. That is super love. I'm going to put a link if you guys want to donate, because YouTube takes, if you give any of your favorite streamers donations, YouTube takes like 30% of it. It's craziness. So just FYI, but hey, I don't care. It's not just the money. It's the fact that you, in your mind, said, I'm going to give this dude $40. That's mind blowing to me. And I appreciate that so much. Thank you, name withheld. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna type this junk about 1 million times. I never expect donations. This is always I never expect donations, but thank you so much. Man, I have never had a donation like that. So man, thank you. I feel like somebody named withheld. Thank you. Made me feel like somebody. Oh man. Red Boy says, great interaction with the audience as always. Man, if it wasn't for the audience, the show would be 20 minutes. I literally only think about 20 minutes of stuff to say, and then you guys come in and start having all these great conversations, and I want to just jump in you guys' conversation. Name withheld, man, you have, let me tell you something. Aramis says, you deserve it, Keith. You don't understand the power of this show. Thank you, Aramis. I appreciate that. You know, guys, I'm going to just say this. You know, going to these therapy, I had therapy this morning. And, you know, going to these sessions and talking to people, you start to learn so much about yourself. Oh, man. Name of hell says, Juan, you're welcome, man. Bro, thank you so much. TD, thank you for the $2, bro. Man, I don't care what it is, man. The fact that you guys feel that you like my show enough to even donate anything is just mind-blowing to me. So thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. But what I'm saying is that you don't, talking to a therapist, you don't realize all the issues that you might have. And one thing I learned today is at some point, Judaim says, you are somebody, fam. I appreciate your candor. Your sharing causes a ripple of healing. Miss Bailey says, thank you. Your show is therapy for me. Share whatever you can. Hey, appreciate it, guys. But one thing I learned today is that I want, not just me, but we all should really be thankful for the things that we have in life. Life can get so, we can get so bogged down with the problems. We all have problems. I know it. We all have problems. But today I have a 25-day plan that I'm doing. And today, one of my goals for the day was to tell anyone how much you appreciate them. Even if it's a stranger and you don't really even know them, to just tell someone how much you appreciate them. And this, like I said earlier, these last few weeks have been some really hard weeks in my life. And today I was teetering on having a really good day and having a really jacked up day. And I picked this lady up. She was an older black lady. She had a cane and she was, struggling to get in the car. And so I held the door open. I grabbed her bag and put her helped her get in the car. And she sat down and she was, sitting in the car and she's like, "Oh, I love your interior, young man." And I was like, "Thank you." And then she said, "Oh, I like your music too, young man." And I was like, I said, "Thank you." And she was like, "You look so nice today too, young man." And I was like, "Wow, ma'am, you are full of compliments." And she said, "No." She said, "It's no problem. It's just, it's very rare to see somebody that has a smile on their face, and it's really nice because you were really nice and you helped me to get in the car and everything." She said, "So I really, really appreciate how nice you've been to me in these few minutes that we've been in the car together." And, I was teetering on this bad day. Red boy, man, come on, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Man, y'all gonna make me start. Don't do that. Y'all gonna make me start tonight. Don't do that. Red boy, I appreciate you, Red boy. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. But when she said that, I was right on that moment of like, oh, this could be a really bad day. And she said that, and I got her to her point, and I just turned around and I said, "Ma'am, I just want to tell you that you really just made my day." I said, "I was thinking I was going to have a bad day, and just your little words have really made me feel so much better. And I really appreciate you getting in my car and saying those nice things." And she was like, "Well, we got to stick together. There's not too many black people out here that want to say nice things to each other and want to do nice things. So we really have to stick together." And I was like, "You know what? You are absolutely right." So that's one thing, one person that I've said that to today. And now I want to say it again to all of you all who are in this room today, that I appreciate you guys so much. I rush home and try to set this thing up, and in the face of everything that I've been going through lately, I've been neglecting my YouTube channel. I've been neglecting it because I have a tendency when I'm going through things, I just try to go by myself and I don't want to talk to anybody. I just go into a hole. And Aramis says, "It's rare these days. Older folks just really appreciate when they are greeted by well-mannered younger people. I get it all the time just for saying ma'am, sir." It's very true. But I have a tendency to just go into a hole, and I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself and be in my head. And just sitting here talking to you guys tonight, I know we don't all know each other. We know each other's screen names. But I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you all so much for just coming to the chat, coming to watch, to hear the stuff I'm saying. Because, you know, to me, it still blows my mind that anyone cares what I'm saying. So the fact that you guys come in here and, you know, share your thoughts, or call in sometimes, or even just agree with something I'm saying or disagree with something I'm saying, and we just have this banter back and forth, or feel the need to donate, man, it's really touching, and I really appreciate you guys. So I just want to tell you all, again, for my other part of my 25-day process, that I appreciate you guys so much. This has really helped me. This channel and you guys being there have really helped me to get through a lot of the things that I've been going through, with my family, with the religion, with my thought process. Just having people that really understand how I feel, and me understanding how they feel, and us being able to really help each other has been a huge, huge help for me. So I just want to tell you all sincerely that I love and appreciate all of you guys, and thank you so much for coming, you know, to the channel and engaging with everyone. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop ranting now. Name with Hell says, being about self and showing off is not fulfilling. That's why people have to keep posting and keep feeding off likes. True that. True that. John Sell says we can all care about each other and share. Yeah, we can. We really can. Yeah, my aunt just really kind of blew my mind with that comment. Like, I really can't even. I really can't even wait to talk about that Sunday. And I hope my aunt will at least either let me do a Google Hangout and call her, and we can have a share a screen, or she will either call in and talk, because she has a lot of knowledge, man. She has a lot of knowledge, and if she called, we'll end up being here for like 3 hours. Because me and my aunt, we will go in on any topic. We will analyze the hell out of any topic. Aramis says, very true, Judaim. Keith, you help us get through life as well. We are all here helping each other, and I appreciate everyone who joins in on these shows. Thank you, Aramis. I appreciate you too. John Seth says, thank you to Fitz. Thank you to Fitz. You have helped me more than you know. Man, you're welcome, John. You're welcome. I feel like this is a big love show, man. We need to everybody need to just give each other a big hug right now. Let's just hugs. I feel like everybody needs a hug right now, man. Give these people a hug. So yeah, it's gonna be I appreciate you guys, man. And I really do want to do a meetup. I really want to organize one. I think it's something that needs to happen. I don't know if one has happened before, but I think if I'm able to organize something here in Nashville and have enough people, it would be something that would really catch a lot of attention. It could be something that we could really do a lot with. So I'm gonna try to organize that. On the Sunday shows are usually at 11:30 Central Time. But if my aunt's gonna be on it, it's probably gonna have to be a little bit later than that. But yeah, it's usually 11:30 Central Time. Yeah, this is gonna be a dope one. I'm even if my aunt isn't on it, I'm gonna have to get with her, and we're really gonna have to analyze this topic. John Seth says, yes, for some, it's so important to come on a show like this and keep it as a value in their own daily life. That's how it is for me. Wow. Name with Hell says, Fitz motivated me to just meet my estranged family again after 4 years and keep it casual. Hey, man. How did it work out? How did it work out, Name with Hell? How did it go? Gypsy Lily says, maybe a meet and greet with some fried chicken. We'll get some Princess Nashville hot chicken, some Princess hot chicken in that joint. What y'all know about Nashville hot chicken? Y'all know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That Nashville hot chicken. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I'll put y'all on something when y'all get out here. All right, so this Sunday, now I'm gonna Bayou Boy 666 says, I'm sorry, Keith, I am not understanding how to send a gift yet. Next time I will Google YouTube how to. You are helping so many people for real. Hey, no problem, man. It's really, if you look at, I don't know what device you're using, but in the chat window, there's a smiley face and a $sign. All you have to do is click the $sign and you can put whatever you want on there. It's not that, it just depends on what device you're on. Sometimes it's harder to see. I think they just added it in Apple phones too, but right under the chat where you type, there's a little $sign, and all you have to do is click that. Judaim says, does the KFC version count? It does not. The KFC version does not count. That junk is not real Nashville hot chicken. Okay, Name with Hell said, luckily my dad invited me because he's not a witness. So yeah, man. So this Sunday, 11:30, we're gonna go into that topic that my aunt talked about. I'm just gonna go ahead and post that and create that event now. And maybe, we're gonna make this one. We're gonna make this one a call-in show, guys. I really like when you guys call in, and I feel like we don't do it enough. So we're gonna make this one a call-in. And maybe people can call in and tell their stories, or we can talk about how. I don't want this to just be us telling stories. I want this channel or these shows on the XJW shows on the channel, because I'm going to do a different type of show every day of the week. I'm going to have a different type of show, but there will be some days that are devoted solely to the XJW content. All right. So on these shows, I don't want it to only be us talking about things that have happened. I really want us to be able to figure out a way to help each other solve issues. Airman says, make sure, Keith, I'm looking forward to it. Been waiting for an update, and I'm glad I got an alert today. Yeah, you have to make sure you click that bell, because sometimes YouTube doesn't alert you. It's been really weird lately. So yeah, I really want us to have a channel where we can actually figure out solutions to things. We can talk about stuff all day, and it's great. I love talking about stuff. But I also want us to be able to do some things that will actually solve some of the issues that we have. Because talking about it helps, but I really want us to be able to come up with some plans of action that can help us in these situations to better deal with those situations. It's the whole thing with therapy. I go to therapy to help me deal with some of the things that I'm dealing with that are difficult for me to deal with. How do I deal with anxiety? How do I deal with separation anxiety? How do I deal with feeling like there's no way for me to get out of this situation? How do I feel, how do I deal with the despair I'm feeling because I want this relationship and I can't have it? Or I want to mend this relationship with my folks and I can't have it. Like, how do I deal with those things? How do I deal with the PTSD that comes along with leaving an organization and all the fallout? How do I deal with all the way that leaving the organization permeates its way into relationships? How it, not just personal relationships, but working relationships, dating world. us leaving that organization causes so many problems in so many different aspects of our lives. And it would be really good for us to actually be able to have some ways to help each other deal with those things besides just reciting what has happened in the past. Yes, we can recite what has happened because it forms this camaraderie because we know people understand what we've gone through. But let's take that a step forward and say, okay, now that we know that we have this common thread, what can we do to resolve some of those problems or help us to resolve some of those problems? So that's what I really want this channel to be about. So going forward, I want to have a lot more conversations with people that can give us tools to help us deal with these things, right? And that's why if you guys donate to things like that, if I have people on, if I have to go hire pay somebody to be on the show, that's what stuff like that's going to be for. You know what I mean? So thank you. I am here to help me and to help you and for us to help each other. Straight up. So this Sunday, 11:30, we're going to have that conversation about how we can teach our families about us again. Man, that's a great. My aunt did it on that one. My aunt did it on that, man. That was, she went to the Marianas Trench on that one. So we'll talk about that on Sunday. Aramis says, right, let's also talk about how to heal and move forward as well. Exactly. So we will talk about that on Sunday at 11:30. And I'm going to start figuring out ways to make to figure out how we can make some type of meetup thing happen. I'm going to start working on that. And we'll see how we can make that happen. And I'll reveal some info on that as I get more news about it. All right, so guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I just want to say thank you to you all again for watching. And let's get ready to have this deep conversation on Sunday, all right? And stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, there are going to be some other topics. We're going to talk about a lot of different other things on the channel, not just the XJW stuff. Gypsy Lily, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. It will not be a.m. 11:30 a.m. We're going to have a lot of different topics on the channel. So stay tuned, guys. And I appreciate you all for being here tonight. I will see you all on Sunday. All right? Peace.